Change the world! Change the world!
To every generation of young believers comes an opportunity to make a contribution to the fortunes of humanity, unique to their time of life. For the present generation, the moment has come to reflect, to commit, to steel themselves for a life of service, from which blessings will flow in abundance. Recently, the elected governing council of the Baha'i world, the Universal House of Justice, delivered a message calling for the convocation of 95 youth conferences around the globe. This was later increased to 114. Auckland, New Zealand was chosen as the location for New Zealand and Cook Islands' young people of all backgrounds to come together and explore their potential for meaningful acts of service, to decide their part in a mighty, transforming process that will yield in time a global civilization reflecting the oneness of humankind. In Manukau, South Auckland, 500 youth converged at the conference venue, which is shaped like a waka, a canoe, symbolizing the journey which brought them there, the mighty Pacific Ocean, and the journey yet to come, which they will now share together. The conference opened with a haka, waiata, and cheers from the various regions represented. Special visitors from Hawaii, Australia and New Zealand introduced some of the themes of the conference.
So one of the outcomes of today will be that as a group you would already start thinking about what are those changes you are going to make to helping your community advance materially and spiritually.
They stressed the extraordinary characteristics inherent to the period of youth and the historical contribution of young people to the transformation of society. The challenge was now to accept their responsibilities as the present generation of youth, utilizing the society-building power of the Baha'i teachings and committing to a life of service. The main sessions featured discussion on set themes and utilized arts, dance, drama and song.
All we gotta do is start, all we gotta do is gotta change the world. All we gotta do is start, all we gotta do is start, all we gotta do is gotta change the world. Move the world, don't turn our backs. We can move the world, take what we learned, give it right back. Move the world, don't turn your backs. We can move the world, take what we learned, give it right back. Move the world, don't turn your backs. We can move the world, take what we learned, give it right back. Move the world.
The first key theme was the importance of the period of youth and their ability as young people to make a contribution to the betterment of society.
We were talking about what we can do in our communities to kind of push past the negative forces and just excel in what we're wanting to do in our higher goals.
They explored how to infuse their day-to-day activities with a spirit of generous giving and offering service to the well-being of others.
No, why don't we have both? Yeah, do that.
I think a big part when we talked in our first session about having a coherent life and just letting them know how service fits in with my life, and I'm still able to work and play lots of sports, and just the different attributes each segment of my life can be implemented in another segment of my life, and how that, they're all connected. Yeah.
One has twofold purpose. One where we take charge of our own development, and then the other where we kind of take charge of the progress of humanity. So when we serve, we're actively contributing to the betterment of the world, and when we're serving, just by the fact that we're serving, we're developing these qualities of our own.
Should you study? Should you do service? That you don't really need to make that choice.
Why not do both?
We talked a lot about false dichotomies or false decisions that we have to make, like in society, the decision between drinking or being kind of an outcast or being lame, and how, you know, it's neither of those options is the correct one. You know, you can not drink and be awesome, and also learning about the different forces that act on you as a youth from school, workplaces, university, and all things like that.
The second theme was about early adolescence and how youth can assist those younger than themselves to refine their characters, help them to enhance their power of expression, and foster a strong moral sensibility within them.
What we talked about was just that how that stage, being a junior youth, they're so curious, and that's the time where they're trying to identify who they are and they want to learn.
So they're in this period, a very important period, where they're kind of forming the habits and patterns of thought and behavior that really will characterize them for the rest of their life. And so that in that stage, that's why they're asking so many questions about the world, about who am I, how do I interact with my environment, what is my role in my environment, and that curiosity is kind of at its peak.
I also run a junior youth group, and that sort of teaches moral empowerment and teaches them about virtues and spiritual qualities, and also gets them to get involved in their community. And so we do service projects in that community, in that immediate area of the junior youth group.
The junior youth group consists of children aged 11 to 15 and teaches virtues, spiritual empowerment and respect for their community.
The junior youth need someone to guide them and work with them, but they need someone who they can relate to very easily, and they find that their youth, they're only a couple of years ahead of them, so they 2 or 3 years ago were in the same shoes. So, you know, their problems, their issues, they find very warming and heartening to be able to share these with the youth and comfortably, so they can assist them in their daily lives and maybe the difficulties, and even celebrate the triumphs together. They can find the youth very easily to relate to. And I think the youth themselves also enjoy the responsibility from a young age to nurture those younger than them, because in some societies it's not until you're an adult which you can take responsibility.
One of the main things for me is, since we are so close to the age of the younger generation, it is easy for us to get along and to help teach them and, I don't know, put a positive influence on them in their life so they can grow up and do the same for the next generation.
We had a service project that the junior youth came up with. They wanted to pick up rubbish all over, not just one street, but just wherever they could find it within a certain amount of time. And it got to the point where it became competitive. And we came across a house that belongs to one of the junior youth. And his mum came out, and his mum asked the question, "Sione, how come you can clean out there, but how come you don't clean our house or our front yard?" And then his response was, "Mum, that's different. That's different, Mum. This is changing the world. That's just chores." So that was his response.
How can I serve my community without help from youth like you and me? I need some friends to help me through, who can teach me what to do. JY, 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 JY.
In the evening, themes were cemented with skits, poems, and songs.
Please, please don't let her pick me. Please don't let her ask what our generation's role might be. If I speak, you see, I will stumble, fumble as I attempt to explain how my education failed to equip me with the words needed to express my innate nobility. This spiritual disability, my mother paid the fee, so they taught me 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, geography, and yet the verbal weaponry needed to inspire my community to unity, our global destiny, these words should be in my kite, but no, it's empty.
Sometimes in our life, we all share. We all have sorrow, but if we are one,
One of the most vital themes was the concept of mutual support. In the session which explored this theme, participants examined the benefit of walking a path of service in the company of others. Loving fellowship, mutual encouragement, and willingness to learn together are natural properties of any group of youth sincerely striving for the same ends.
Having that support that you get from mutual relationships is really fundamental, because it's like say you're running and you start giving up or something like this. It's so much easier to keep on going if someone's there going, keep going, or if someone's not even encouraging you but just running alongside you. So we kind of talked about how that is really important, because sometimes you get faced with difficulties and stuff like this, and just having somebody else that has that same vision as you makes it a lot easier.
Someone actually mentioned was that in life he would be much more productive in all elements of life when he found that there was a system of mutual support around him. At school, where he found that there were teachers and friends that actually cared, he felt much more productive and that he was actually achieving things. In the family, so all elements of life. And then we can see how, in that sense, service then enriches all the other elements of life, because when you're serving, you're developing those qualities and attitudes that assist you to help others. And then it creates this dynamic of everyone helping each other. So then all the elements of our lives are enriched.
Please, please don't let her ask me to explain the way the adolescents yearn for this framework to perceive reality and to heal societal hurt. She can't know that I see them, that I get them, that I ache to guide them, because who am I to provide for them the spiritual sustenance that they require? I just don't know if I contain that in this rugged teenager. Who am I to provide for them? So please, please don't ask me.
The theme of community building is significant for Baha'is of all ages, but around the globe youth are often at the forefront of this process, seeing neighbourhoods and villages becoming centres of intense activity to enhance the capacity of a population and to cultivate and sustain a spiritually enriching pattern of community life.
The topic of the last session was contributing to the advancement of a civilization. We looked at aspects of how one can contribute to a civilization through their work and maybe through their service. I guess when we're contributing through our service, we feel like we're benefiting some good by helping other people. But when we're in our workplace, it's sort of difficult to maybe grasp how are we contributing to society or to a civilization.
One insight was that nearly any profession can contribute to the advancement of a divine civilization, and it's about the manner in which we engage in that profession. For example, they were thinking about the work of a teacher, and some of the younger youth were able to reflect about teachers they had and spiritual qualities that the teachers showed that made their service as a teacher in a regular school something that contributed to society and the advancement of civilization.
We were doing a lot of looking at our community and how we can, as youth, play an important role in that community. We can use our abilities as energetic people and people who are aware of our surroundings and able to influence our smaller communities, because we look at the society at large and it can be quite daunting to want to change something that's quite big and out of our hands. But then when we all work in small areas, making those communities healthy societies, then we'll be able to see a bigger difference in the world.
Service is compared as the center of a flower, where it holds all the petals together. And with the service, it can organize everything, including all our daily activities, including study, work, family, and many more.
Tomorrow is a new day. Our intellectual and spiritual growth will set us free as we transform society.
There was a message put out by the Universal House of Justice, which is the world governing body of the Baha'i faith. and they had asked for 114 conferences through all the continents of the world. There's about 12 of them happening in the Pacific with the same message, the same vision at every single conference, that young people can move the world, they can make a difference in society, and it's really to get young people with a common vision and will to want to help society and the younger youth in the society, to give them the capabilities to then carry forth their next group underneath them. So these youth and junior youth will become the world leaders of tomorrow. So they're looking at different themes about how they can better themselves, how they can better the community around them, and then eventually how that leads on to a whole global change.
The final core task was to discuss how the youth can contribute to the advancement of civilization. Participants made concrete plans about what to do after the conference, to develop and to promote service activities in their neighbourhoods and towns.
This conference has been incredibly overwhelming for me. I had slight reservations when I was planning to come up because I thought it was going to be very intense, something that perhaps I wouldn't have been able to cope with, and I wasn't too sure whether I could contribute. After the conference, I have been completely transformed, inspired. I've cried tears of joy at the experience of meeting other youth. And I made a promise to myself that I go back to the Wellington community, do the junior youth program, and get involved into community building activities to change our society.
I feel like society makes it out as if to achieve something amazing and to accomplish something amazing, you have to do it in certain groups and cliques. And over the past 3 days, I've discovered that it doesn't matter what gender, what ethnicity, race, age you are. If we all come together, we are able to do something amazing. All through the power of love and unity, we can develop and change our society.
Every one of the youth that are going to participate would like to walk apart the service together. Some are going to serve as children's class teachers, some as animators, others as tutors, and then others will support in various ways.
And after being here for the past 3 days, I've come to realize that I've got time. Instead of making excuses, I've got time to start my own junior youth. Since being here and hearing some of the stuff that's been said, I've realized that my community needs it most right now.
To set us free, I want peace and harmony. It's what we need to set us free. 'Cause now I show love to my neighbors, and I will show love to my friends. I will show love to my enemies. Those people I will defend.
On reflection of what the junior youth program is, I feel that it should be rolled out into every city in New Zealand and every town in New Zealand because of the way that it brings people together that are in need. You see society at the moment, you see poverty, you see domestic violence, you see people struggling. This program really gives them help, gives them hope, gives them faith, gives them inspiration, gives them a belonging to something that's really quite special and spiritual. And so I'll do everything that I can to help that progress.
So that we've got, I think everyone's got mutual support. I think we all shared numbers and stuff, so we're going to get together after this and just carry on this process of getting together as youth, supporting each other, and start making the change that we need to make.
I want your business, do whatever you want to do. If it don't work out, here's what you gotta do. Now just hold on. Change is coming. Hold on. Don't you worry about a thing. Hold on. You can make it. Hold on. Don't you worry about a thing.
Eager to take on a measure of responsibility to aid the spiritual and social development of those around them, especially ones younger than themselves, they made plans for effecting a spiritual and material transformation at the grassroots of their society.
Cause we will unify as one people, unify in the name of the Lord, unify as brothers and sisters, be this way forevermore, because if we want unification, then we need peace and love, and we must live by the teachings and preachings from the Lord above. Yeah, I want peace and harmony, I want peace and unity, I want peace and harmony, I want peace and unity. Come on, everybody. I want peace and harmony. Yeah. I want peace and unity. I want peace and harmony. I want peace and unity.
Together, all of you have the potential to basically fly or contribute to the community. So all of you have under your seats a piece of paper that I would like you to get out. Fold it into a paper plane. 3, 2, 1.
Please, does anyone have anything to share? I perceive a spark within you and it won't disappear no matter how much you beg me to please not ask you. No matter how much you convince yourself that your disbelief is true, you know what you're capable of. You felt it in your bones. Don't quieten that voice for a second. The booming call of the power of youth is contained for now, but it is owned by everyone in this room who has ever felt that they couldn't do nothing to change the world. Well, my friends, it's starting. That hurricane within your heart and my heart and our hearts is rising. The winds of change are arising, the people are arising, the pure of spirit are striving to steel themselves for a life of service from which blessing will flow in abundance, blessing and stressing. We will walk this path of service together. No, we will run and stumble and crawl and heave ourselves along this journey together to better our family. 7 billion brothers and sisters always together. So yes, I am asking you what you think. And yes, I will make you share what you think. Because youth of the world, our silence is over. Now's the time to stand up and declare.
The conference closed with a haka, this time with participants united from around the country as a commitment to the courageous action.
Like
As the participants joyously shoulder their responsibilities and honour commitments made, the whole of New Zealand will feel the ripples coming from the dynamic power of youth.
The evil world shall fall.